You know, when the Artemis II astronauts launch on that historic trip around the moon, they are not going to be alone. Nope, there's a silent passenger on board, a kind of biological twin for each crew member that could literally hold the key to our future in deep space. Okay, let's dive into this mind-blowing experiment.
All right, listen up. We've got to get this straight right from the jump. Once you get outside of Earth's protective magnetic field, deep space is just flooded with cosmic radiation. It's this invisible storm that can shred human DNA, and right now, we don't have a great way to shield against it.
So that's the billion-dollar question, right? How do you even plan for a mission to Mars, a journey that's going to take years, when you're essentially flying blind into the most hostile environment humanity has ever faced? A generic first aid kit just is not going to cut it, not even close.
Well, NASA's answer sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Seriously, they're not just sending astronauts, they are sending biological avatars to test the dangers of space in real time. This is a total game changer for space medicine. The core technology here is called an organ on a chip, and what it is this tiny, transparent device, a micro-engineered environment where living human cells are grown to replicate the function of our actual organs. We are talking about a miniature, working piece of human biology that you can hold in your hand.
But let's be real. You want the best way to think about them? They're basically USB drives made of living human flesh. Each one of these chips is a biological stand-in, an avatar for an astronaut that will experience the harsh realities of space right alongside them. And what's just incredible is how lifelike these things are. I mean, scientists have engineered them to perform the core functions of our most vital organs. We're talking about chips that can beat like a heart, breathe like a lung, and metabolize toxins just like a liver. It's amazing.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. NASA's own Nikki Fox calls the Avatar experiment a visionary project that will fundamentally revolutionize how we approach science and human exploration. So the key takeaway here is, this isn't some small step, this is a massive leap. And that massive leap is being taken for the first time right now. So how does all this work in the real world? Well, it's all riding on the Artemis II mission, where this incredible technology is being put to the ultimate test on its journey around the moon.
See, flying on the International Space Station is one thing. You're still kind of tucked safely inside Earth's magnetic shield. But Artemis II, that's going into deep space, and the difference is huge. They'll be fully exposed to galactic cosmic radiation, a completely unknown environment that we have very, very little data on. We're flying into the unknown.
So which organ do you send to test these new dangers? NASA chose bone marrow. And why? Because it's the bellwether. Think of it like the canary in the coal mine. It is extremely sensitive to radiation, it produces all our immune cells, and it's absolutely central to the body's ability to repair itself. If something's going wrong, bone marrow is going to be one of the first places to show it.
And the journey these chips take is just as fascinating. First, the Artemis astronauts actually donate their own blood. From that, scientists isolate the specific stem cells they need. Those cells are then carefully placed into the chips to create a living model of that astronaut's bone marrow. And finally, the chips get loaded into this self-sustaining, battery-powered box that's going to keep them alive in space.
Now, all of this leads to NASA's new guiding philosophy. It's a strategy that could be the difference between life and death on a mission to Mars, and they call it Know Before We Go. The entire point of the Avatar experiment is to completely flip the script on space medicine. So instead of reacting to sickness as it happens millions of miles from home, this tech allows NASA to be proactive. They can actually predict how an individual astronaut's body will respond and prepare for it way ahead of time.
NASA's Lisa Carnell, well, she sums it up perfectly. The goal is to understand the unique and specific healthcare needs of each astronaut. So instead of a one-size-fits-all medical kit, you can send a personalized pharmacy tailored to that specific person's genetic vulnerabilities. This first critical test is all going to take place over the roughly 10-day journey of the Artemis II mission. And for those 10 days, the tiny avatars will be soaking up radiation and microgravity, just collecting a treasure trove of personalized biological data. This isn't just another science experiment. It's the first chapter in the survival guide for Mars.
And look, while 10 days gives us that critical first snapshot, a trip to Mars is a marathon, not a sprint. That's why 10 days is just the beginning. NASA is already working to extend the lifespan of these chips to 6 months, maybe even more. This will let them model the chronic, long-term effects of a multi-year Mars journey and test drug therapies before we ever leave home. But the impact of this research, it doesn't stop at the edge of space. What we learn from these tiny avatars could have massive implications for the future of survival right here on our own planet.
I mean, think about it. This same technology can be used to test how a specific patient's tumor will react to different chemo drugs before they're ever put into their body. It allows researchers to study chronic diseases like Alzheimer's over months, not just days. This is an unbelievably powerful new tool for developing therapies for all of us.
So, as we look to a future where humanity travels to the moon, Mars, and beyond, it really all comes down to this question. Are these tiny, living avatars, these biological twins, flying as silent passengers, are they the ultimate key to ensuring our survival among the stars?
What we learned from this mission could literally define the next century of exploration and medicine. Hit that follow button to ride along for the future of human survival.